Beautiful souls, do you have a prayer request or want us to send you healing energy today? Would you like us to be praying for you, a friend, or a loved one? If this is you, go to worldslargestprayernetwork.com to submit your prayer requests. And while you're there, please join our team of prayer warriors. Your angels say that prayer not only opens you to miracles, raises your vibration, and helps you heal, but the more you pray, the more God's presence is felt here on earth. Feel your angels' love right here, right now, as they surround you, and be on the lookout for positive, loving messages that are meant specifically for you in today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancius. Today, we're here with angel stories that inspire hope, love, strength, inspiration within you. And Norma is here to share her angel stories. Norma, thank you so much for sharing your time and being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course, of course. So I'm going to let you take it away and share your first story.
Okay. My story is about 14 years ago. I was in a car accident. I have two sons. It was with my youngest son. He was 3 years old at the time, and he was sitting in his car seat in the back seat on the driver's side, my car of me. And as we're going into the intersection, I could see the car coming towards us, and it was going to hit my driver's side. And of course, I just started praying, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. I started praying that, of course, let my son be all right. And I didn't want him, to be hurt. And I was worried because he was only 3. And I could see it was a big van. And we were just in a tiny Corolla or Camry. And so then as I'm praying, I said, please just let me take the brunt of the car accident. Whatever is going to happen to me, I'm fine with, even if it means I have to pass away. Just let it all happen to me and not to my son. And then for some reason in my mind, I thought, that's irrational. Why? How is your son going to come out of this with nothing wrong? And something has to be wrong. And then I said, okay, well, a scratch. He can have one scratch. That's it. Only one scratch, nothing else. And so then we got hit. All the airbags deployed in the car. And it happened like in slow motion. It was so strange. Just everything was in slow motion. And when I got out of the car, I immediately went to the door, opened it, and I got him out. And I just kept asking him if he was all right. And of course, he was scared. He was crying. He was upset. And he said everything was fine. I said, your arms are okay. I was checking him. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. He was just upset. But then I could see he had a little scratch on his cheek, just one little scratch. And I thought, wow, that was just, it was just odd at first. And we walked to the corner of the sidewalk, and other people called the police, and we got home okay and everything. And we went to urgent care and stuff. But later on, when I had time to think about it, I thought, how does that happen where it's just the one thing that I said he could have that he had? To me, that really made me feel that God and my angels were there to protect us and watch over us and make sure that everything's okay, with us during that accident. And it's just always stayed with me.
Yeah.
Just always.
Wow. That is so beautiful. I want to ask you a question here. when you're saying like you're thinking this, because it happens so fast within our consciousness. And I want to wake people up to realize how fast consciousness works. When all this is like kind of going on, this conversation within your mind, it's as you're looking forward and seeing this car coming at your car, correct?
Yes.
Wow. And I want you to understand here, because I think this could be a teaching moment for people who are like, but how does this communication work between us and the other side? It was something that you heard, but I want you to understand almost hearing it would be too quick for them to even say it. I want you to kind of tune in. And was it almost more of like a telepathic communication of energy? You know what I'm saying? Where like it would take too long to like have that conversation. Oh my God, this car is coming at me.
Right.
Don't let it hit me, or like just let it protect my son. Don't worry about me if you have to take my life. And oh, he could have one scratch. In an instant, information can come through from the other side telepathically, like just boom, boom, boom. And it's so amazing when you get to that point that you realize it really is this telepathic energy between us and the other side, because it does happen that fast. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense, because even when I look back and I think about it, that was a lot of conversation to have before a car accident, you know, but I had, and it happened and we came out okay. And it's always stuck with me. Just
That's
always.
amazing. Amazing. I love that story. And just one little scratch. He could have one little scratch and he has one little scratch. Angels are always, always looking out for us and protecting us. Talk to us too, Norma, about your second story.
Okay. My second story involves another car accident. This time my husband was driving, and we had all, as a family, decided to go to Las Vegas, Nevada for Christmas. And we were supposed to stay 3 nights there. And on our second night, my mom had called and said, the weather's not looking very good. I'm a little worried about you guys driving back home. And my husband and I just kind of thought, oh, it'll be all right. And it's not going to be a big deal. It'll be okay. They always say it's going to snow, but usually doesn't happen. Not in California anyways. We were, because that's where we had to drive back to. So we're thinking, yeah, it's going to be okay. So then the third day I had woken up in the morning, and I had this, at the time, I didn't realize that it was, I guess, a premonition, and that it's the first time I had ever received like a visual premonition. Normally, it's more of a knowing, and I could see my husband, both my sons. I could see our car on the side of the road in the dark, but it was raining, and I mean, just raining hard. And I could see up ahead a gas station, like over to the right of us. And I started to see us walking to the gas station. Okay. And I thought, well, that's weird, because that's never happened to me. I've never had something like that happen to me. And so then I just kind of said to my husband and my sons, boys, please make sure you wear clothes that if we're outside in the rain and walking, that's going to, work out for you. I was a little bit worried because they were really intense about their shoes always being clean. And they both looked at each other, and they kind of gave an odd look like, oh, mom's saying weird stuff again. And they just said, okay, mom. I said, okay, because back then, and this happened, I want to say like a year before we went into the pandemic. Back then, I couldn't really openly say things because it would make my husband feel uncomfortable. And he didn't like me to say, whatever I was getting. And so I just thought, well, if I say it that way, that, it'll be okay. And then I said to my husband, whatever we do, I want to make sure that we get to wherever we need to go before dark. So he said, okay. Well, then my mom called again and she said, the weather's really looking bad and I really don't think you guys are going to get home. So then my husband said, well, why don't we just book another night and we'll book it at State Line, which is Prim Valley. So I said, okay, that sounds good, because if they're going to close off the highway, that's more or less where they would close it off. So we booked a room, did our shopping, kids had a good time, we got something to eat, and I was starting to get worried because it started to get dark and it was starting to rain. And I kept thinking to myself, I wanted to be back at the new hotel before dark, and it's getting dark. And I just told my husband, can we please go? And he's like, okay, yeah, let's go. And on our way to our hotel, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can see the hotel. The hotel's on the left-hand side. I'm like, we're so close. We're almost there. Everything's going to be okay. I must have been wrong. Well, sure enough, we hear a car accident to the left-hand side of us. And then we see we didn't know it was a woman, but it was a woman in the car. And she had spun out and turned around, and when in the spinning out, she hit us from behind. And, obviously, I thought, oh no, was this it? We get out of the car and we're standing on the side of the road in the rain. And when I looked to my right, the gas station was there. And we were kind of just walking a little bit more over to the side because we were waiting for the Nevada Highway Patrol to come. And I thought, oh, I was right. So inside, I felt validated, but at the same time, I was upset.
Yeah.
So we end up driving our car back to the hotel room, and we can't get our suitcases or anything out because the trunk is completely smashed in. We're all okay. Thank goodness for that. We were all okay. And there was so many people that were trying to book rooms at the hotel, because what had happened was we were in like when traffic's like at a crawl, because the Nevada State Police decided to close the highway to get back into California. So everybody was just like at a slow crawl, but it was pouring. So I assume that, the weather had something to do with what happened. And so then we're standing in line at the hotel, and we already had our room because we had booked it early in the morning. And there was people out in the lobbies just with their suitcases because they didn't have any more rooms available. Yeah. And so my husband ended up getting into the VIP line, and he explained to the woman what happened, that we had just been in an accident. And she said, you know what, she goes, I'm not supposed to take you, but I'm going to go ahead and take you since I know you already have a room anyway. Just go ahead. Here's your keys. And I hope the rest of your night gets better.
Friend, if the idea of connecting to your angels and changing your life using your very own spiritual gifts sounds amazing and is deeply resonating with you today, I want you to go on my website and check out my angel membership. Registration is open. Sign up today and you'll get access to new course content and events each week and a private community. Members love how everything you need for your spiritual awakening is all in one place. Sign up today. Angel membership, it's incredibly healing. Also, the winner of this month's free reading with me is in the show notes below. Leave a 5-star positive review of my podcast or book, and you could be next month's winner. Lastly, check out the upcoming events page on my website, theangelmedium.com, because we have a lot of upcoming events that I know you're going to be interested in.
Well, then both my sons decided to try to go look for something to eat. So they both left our room. And I told my husband, I said, you know what? I seen this happen this morning. And I said, that's why I was trying in my own way to tell you. That's why I wanted to be home, back to the hotel before dark. And why I wanted the kids to wear, clothes that would be okay to walk in the rain. I said, but you always get upset when I talk about, intuitive stuff. And I don't know how I know these things. I don't either, and sometimes, I just do, and I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to accept, that this is who I am. And I said, and I'm not going to minimize any of this anymore. And I'm just going to be open about it now. And so then he just said, I'm so sorry, I didn't know and I should have listened. And I promise I will be, very supportive for now on. And he has been. He really, really has been. So that was my second story. But that was when I finally started speaking openly about, sometimes these things that I get.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? If you think back to when I was in high school from 96 to 2000. And at the time there was a show, A&E Biography, right? And this is when we didn't have Netflix or anything. You just watch shows on TV. And my mom would always be like, watch these biographies. They're amazing, Julie. You got to watch these biographies. It's so fascinating to learn about people's lives. And what always struck me was the visions that people would have before something would happen in their life. Inventors would have these visions of what they were supposed to create. And actors and actresses would have these visions of themselves like having a breakthrough. And you always heard this aspect within it of a knowingness, of a vision of something coming through. And it's true for entrepreneurs. It's true for businesses. You can't create something that you can't see within your own mind. So where do these visions come from? One of the things that the angels were like shouting to bring through this message as you were talking, and it's not necessarily for you, but I feel like it's for everybody who's listening right now, is when you have a vision, like you had the vision, okay, I'm outside, it's raining, the boys are outside, there's the gas station. And you can ask more questions, right? Like, should we go sooner? Should we get all the stuff like in the back of the car, back of the trunk, put all the suitcases in the back of the trunk? And when you ask spirit more questions, what you're doing is saying, I acknowledge the vision that you just sent me. And I want to go into this with you. Tell me more. So do you want us to leave faster? And you're going to start to hear answers. Yes. A lot of times when I do this, I just blatantly hear like a yes or a no, right? But then I let that guide me. The more questions that you ask, I want people to understand this because sometimes you don't get an answer. And there it's frustrating, right? You're like, you have to ask the question a different way. They can only bring through what will not impact your free will. So if something's going to impact your free will, they can't bring it through. But if you maybe ask something in a different way or continue to ask questions and ask those questions in different ways, you're going to get answers and you're going to get to the information that it is that you need. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this was all before I even had started your angel membership. Now, after joining the angel membership, now I know I can ask questions. And if I
Yeah.
don't get an answer, I can ask again in a different way. But I did not know any of this before or prior to. I had no idea what was going on.
No. That's where the angels were saying, this isn't for you, but for everybody listening so that they understand how to work with it. That's amazing. No, I just love that, Norma. You're such, I love your background too, like the love
Oh,
sign.
thank
It's so
you.
fun. For everybody listening, you can also listen to us, over on YouTube. If you search Julie Jancius or Angels and Awakening, you can find us over there as well. Um, One other thing that I want to do is just want to pray. We're starting the World's Largest Prayer Network. We already launched it. You can go to worldslargestprayernetwork.com, and over there you can pray for others. You can sign up to pray for others, or you could submit prayer requests yourself. And so I just want to take a moment to hold space here on the podcast and say a little prayer. And what's coming through to me is some people are fear filled of driving. And what the angels are asking everybody to do right now is just say a little prayer of protection for, you can say actually prayers of protection that protect you in the future too. So we're going to say one prayer all together right here, right now, but it's a prayer of protection for you, your family members, that anytime either of you, any of you get into a car, that you're always protected, that you've got angels around you. So that's what we're doing right here. I'm going to have everybody just close your eyes if you're able. Take a breath. And I just want you to say, Dear God, I ask you and all of your angels to surround me and my family members every single time we're in a car, every single time that we're in someone else's car. Just guide us, God, love us, direct us, protect us, especially when we're in a car. God, we would just want you to put this wonderful protection energy, angel energy, surrounding the car, within the car, surrounding us and our family members every single time we're driving, now and in the future. And I just want everybody to see themselves as 105 years old one day, and you're talking to a grandbaby and you're just saying, I asked for protection that one time and I have never had a car accident. You asked for protection too. Say this little prayer with me and I know that you're going to be safe. And I want you to visualize yourself at that age, just being so grateful and so thankful that you've always been safe and protected in vehicles. And just say, thank you, God. I love you, God. Amen. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you have an angel story to share, please go over to the website. You can submit those stories now on the website, theangelmedium.com. And I'd love to share your story on the show one day. Thank you, Norma, for taking time out of your day to be here and for sharing your wonderful stories.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You too. Mwah. Beautiful soul, thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Julie. You know I'm all about connecting you with messages from your angels and loved ones on the other side. If you've been listening today and you're super excited and just have to know which angels are sitting around you now, who's connecting with you, and how they're supporting you, go to theangelmedium.com. Register for a virtual session. You can do a reading with me or a member on my team. We're all incredible. We all talk to angels daily, and we can help you in making sure that your angels are doing the best they can to support you and guiding you to the life you want to live. Virtual sessions, they're only offered on my website, never, never, never offered on social media, only offered on theangelmedium.com. Sign up today. And if you're the person who's really excited, you're ready to go all in developing your unique spiritual gifts, growing your intuition, starting your own healing business, you can sign up for my Angel Reiki School to become a certified angel messenger. That's for the healers among us who feel called to grow their intuition to the max and serve humanity with their gifts. You'll learn energy healing, mediumship, how to deliver angel messages, and business mastery skills. That's the Angel Reiki School. You can find more information on theangelmedium.com or DM me over on Instagram at Angel Podcast with any questions you have. Friends, before you go, connect with your angels by placing your hand on your heart, taking a deep breath. Imagine a doorway filled with God's unconditional love in front of you. I want you to step into that love in front of you. And I want you to feel it as it fills your body, your chakras, and your auric field. Now ask your angels, what would you have me know today? And open yourself to the positive, loving messages they have just for you.